Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for Ultimate Spider-Man 2024 Volume 1. And I really enjoyed this one. I had heard people talking about it, and I'm like, alright, let's see what's going on. This one's Married with Children, collecting Ultimate Spider-Man 2024 1 through 6 by Jonathan Hickman, Marco Cicchetto, I think, Dave Messina, and Matthew Wilson. The most surprising Spider-Man story of the 21st century at the dawn of the reimagined Ultimate Universe. After the events of Ultimate Invasion, the world needs a hero. Step forward, Peter Parker. But this is an older, wiser web-slinger. One who balances his costume duties with his responsibilities as a husband and a father. That's right, Peter and Mary Jane are married with kids. The stakes have never been higher, and as Spider-Man faces his first supervillain, J. Jonah Jameson's quest to uncover who's really pulling the strings of this new Ultimate Universe leads to a shocking revelation. Plus, New York City welcomes its newest hero, the Green Goblin. But who's behind the mask, and what does the Goblin know of the true status of the world in which he lives? So, let's crack into this. Seeing, of course, issue 1 in January. Sorry, Peter Parker, you are not getting any younger. It's like, okay, older Peter, or around the 30s. Let's see. Snow in New York City. See his kids. And the art, I really love it. I mean, the close-up on Peter was good. Seeing his kids, seeing how they're going. That it was late. Mom made extra. It's over by the thing. Nice. Did she also happen to? Yep. In the pot. It's like, love that. We've got the son's Richard, the daughter's May. Thank God for home. Thank God for coffee. As we see Mary Jane. It's like, alright, let's see what's going on here. Didn't or couldn't sleep. Let's see what's kind of going on here. There's some kind of ball thing. And he's like, that's not a toy. It's like, okay, let's see what's going on here. So he cracks into the bugle. We get Peter saying hello to Betty. And we see Jameson. We think he's going for our Parker, but he's like, oh, hey, Peter. Morning, boss. How no time for chit-chat. Parker, as we get to the managing editor, that's Ben Parker. And it's like, what the fuck? My ears work fine, Jonah. There's no need to yell. Then why didn't you answer? Because you were yelling. Yeah, but I only yelled because you're old and I worry you can't hear. What? Exactly. Fine, whatever. Bringing up that there's a meeting at 4. He said he could try to push it back, but he's like, there's not going to be a problem. Of course, we see that Pete's late, and he's asking, well, it's probably because I was neither on time nor early. That's cute. Kids these days. As Jonah and Ben are kind of like knocking back and forth. It's like, alright. And then we see that Jonah actually helps him out by actually giving a tie for Peter as we're going to see what's kind of going on. And of course saying that he's going to want the tie back. Of course. And he's kind of feeling out to see how Ben's doing. Evidently, according, like, something's not right. Of course, Pete's wondering if he's okay. He's like, why? What do you mean, why? You won't talk about what happened. You haven't said anything, not one word, about how you're doing or how you feel. Peter, you were 15 when your parents died and you came to live with May and I. That first year was hard for you. Heck, it was hard for all of us. But we loved you unconditionally. We protected you, tried to teach you about the world and prepare you for it, while May was better at all this kind of stuff. The one thing we never tried to do was replace your parents because we couldn't. Now, that was 20 years ago. It's been a long time. But not one day has gone by that you didn't think about them. Is there one day that it doesn't hurt that they're gone? No. Then you know exactly how I feel. As we learn that May's gone, and we see Matt Murdock. It's like, oh shit. That Norman Osborn and May Parker that evidently something pretty much put down to some kind of terror attack. And that something happened to Stark. Now, I think this is Tony Stark instead of Howard Stark. Talking about how that will fade, and that because of the people here, and that just remembering them, we see Ben crying. It's like, oh shit. And then we see Harry Osborn in play. And then bringing up his like memories of Norman Osborn and that Norman's dead. It's like, okay, we'll see what's going on here. Talking about meeting, and we see that Ben is linked up with Harry. It's like, let's see what's kind of going on. It's like, all right, we're getting the big players in play. We're seeing how they're kind of working out. We see that the meeting's going on. Jonah's like, I fucking quit. Go to your desk, Peter. Keep your head down. So, did I miss something? You did, Ben. We've been informed that there's going to be some editorial restructuring at the paper. Jonah didn't care for the changes. And how do you feel about them, Robbie? I'm 2 years away from maxing out my pension, and I feel like that would be a good idea. Sure, we all got something to fight for. Mind if I ask what the changes are? There's an ever-increasing number of complaints from our advertiser about some of our more inflammatory content. Specifically, and I apologize for bringing this up today, they're uncomfortable with how dogged the Bugle is being while looking into the Stark terror attack, and they really don't care for the most recent direction of our coverage. Ah, cover up, motherfucker! As we, of course, see that Kingpin and Bullseye are part of that. Bringing up that he would have Parker take the leadership role. That's, of course, if you want the jump, if you can toe the line. And, of course, Ben's like, nope. And he just goes out with Jonah, and Jonah's like, so, what do we do? Ben's like, so, what do we do now? And Jonah just gives that kind of little smile. It's like, okay, this is an interesting kind of dynamic here. We got our normal kind of fiery kind of Jameson, and we've got Ben kind of being the kind of quiet kind of rock. He's like, all right, what do we do? So we see that Wilson gets attacked by the Green Goblin. And I really like the art style for this. It's like, okay, that's a different kind of look Green Goblin-wise. We see the bar with no name, which is where Ben and Jonah pretty much hash out their stuff to pretty much do their own kind of thing. And we'll tell the truth. The truth? There are some things I like to believe in, Ben. That I'm not going to die alone, that there's such a thing as justice, but in the entire universe there's only one thing I know for sure, and that's that there's no truth in the news and no news in the truth. Like I said, it's a dirty business, so how about this? We promise not to lie. Sounds like a fair start, as we see that Pete kind of joins in on them, seeing what's kind of going on, asking if they got money, asking how he kind of blows up everything. Why wouldn't I do it? It was an easy choice. What's going on, Peter? Of course, this links us up to what's going on. This is setting up the cast and characters. We understand that Pete's like, I don't know that I can blow everything up just because I want my life to change. Peter, no one's expecting you to join us. I'm not talking about that. This is something else. Are you and MJ okay? We're great. She's great. I think she deserves better than me, but she disagrees, which makes it even better. It's just for the longest time, I've thought something was wrong with my life, Ben. That something was wrong with me. I can't really explain it, but now I just know that I've been right all along, and I don't know what to do. And it's like, him not being Spider-Man for something. You ever heard the saying, inaction is action? Well, that's just a garbage way of saying, don't spend your life waiting for something to happen. Make it happen. I love you, son. But if you're walking around half asleep, anesthetized by your own life, then wake up. It's like, okie dokie, as we see what's kind of going on. It's like, alright, seeing how he's kind of feeling about this. He gets back, the kids are down, talking with MJ to pretty much figure out what's going on. And that he's been thinking to make sure that he doesn't say something that he would, like, really kind of fuck things up. And I really like how the kind of paneling works out here. We're using more kind of blacks to kind of separate everything. as we see the ball, and that he pretty much got told by Tony Stark what was kind of going on. So let's hit into this, and that's really fucking cool. I really like that level there on the armor. I'm sending this to you from 6 months into the future. There was an attempt on mine and my companion's lives, and we only had seconds to escape before the orbital platform fired. What? So we went to the only safe place I could think of. I'm sorry that I can't be more specific than I am about to be, but we have to be careful because this world is more complicated and dangerous than you could ever believe. And there's a component of faith to this that is frankly unavoidable. All I can ask is that you please listen carefully. This is for you. Inside is a Picotech stealth suit to mask your identity and a bioorganic catalyst necessary for you to undergo a post-human transformation. What in the world is that supposed to mean? 20 years ago, you were supposed to be bitten by a radioactive spider. This would have given you amazing powers, and with them you would have become one of Earth's most prominent superheroes. Instead, a great evil traveled through time and erased almost all the heroes from this world from existence. You were one of them. He did this so that he and his confederates could treat Earth as a kind of experiment, an exercise in creating a society that could be perfectly directed and controlled. I'm repeating this with others like you, and in 6 months, if I've done this correctly, I'll exit this room to find an Earth that has regained its heroes, and together we will free the world. It is my greatest hope that you are among our number. You were supposed to have a different life, Peter Parker. You were supposed to protect the innocent, save lives, and inspire the citizens of this world to be their best selves. Instead, all that was taken from you. God damn. Of course, now we see that he does choose it from what he's talked about, and we see him put that on, and then he wants it. And of course, go get him, Tiger. We see him in his suit. It's like, all right. So he spent that first one kind of getting that up there. We see him then kind of changing in February. We get a nice Spidey swinging. We see that they're trying to figure out what's kind of going on with this new quote-unquote superhero. Of course, May's kind of afraid of him. Richard says he's not real. We see that Mary Jane is seeing that like stuff's been kind of changing with him. We see him testing himself out and how it's kind of going a little bit kind of crazy. He's not great at stopping yet. He could take a serious beating. We see them that Jonah and Ben are looking more into what's kind of going on. Let's see. That there's more attempts on Fisk. It's like, what the fuck's kind of going on here? That even with their tight control, Fisk pretty much trying to be the one that's in charge of New York, and that not working out so well. Of course, bringing up the whole pictures of Spider-Man kind of thing, but that Peter's not working for him yet. So they're going to work, and we see that Shocker is in play, and Pete does not work out so well with that. What am I supposed to be? I'll admit, I'm struggling with it, but, well, I saw you and what you're doing, and I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to be the guy who stops people like you. Ever done anything like that before? Nope, first time. Well, you're a natural. Thanks, you're welcome. And the dude pretty much fucks with him and then shocks his ass. You're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go home. And he's like, oh. And of course we see him get home, but then his daughter finds him eating ice cream, and she starts crying. Oh boy, it's like, May, oh god, it's me, it's okay, it's Dad. Dad? Yeah, Dad? Yes, it's just me, May. Why are you dressed like that guy? What if I told you he dresses like me? What? I am that guy, May. I got bit by the special spider and it gave me powers, and you got bit by a magic spider? Sure. Same kind of difference. I love it. Which is why you never have to be afraid of him. The costume, me, I'm sorry I scared you. Come here. Are you still crying? No, you smell bad. That's because I was in a dumpster. Mom's gonna be mad. I'm gonna take a shower. That's not what I mean. I know. I'd planned on telling her, but not just yet. What do you say we wait and tell her and Richard later? For now, just a little while. This will be our little secret. Deal? Maybe. Can I bribe you with some ice cream? Yes, but Dad, yeah. I still don't like the costume. Maybe we can do something about that. I love this whole interaction because it just shows their connection over this little thing and what's kind of going on here. Of course, Britain kind of checks in with Kingpin. It's like, what's this dude doing around and why do you keep getting, like, almost killed? And of course, they're talking about how they've divided the world amongst themselves. You get to play King, Mr. Fisk, for as long as you can hold on to your kingdom. And of course, that Bullseye's been granted to him as a resource, and that he should use it later. Hey, how's it going? Oh, normal. As we see MJ kind of dealing with them, and then Pete's suit gets back on, and I really kind of like how it's like a nano kind of suit thing. And then he goes to try and fight Shocker again and be like, alright, fuck you. And I really kind of like the kineticness with the action, him web slinging and everything. Of course, Shocker plays on him again and then blasts him off into the same dumpster. And he makes his way off, but we see that the Green Goblin is watching on as well. So in the last 2 days, I've not only managed to get my butt kicked twice, but I also accidentally revealed my secret identity to my kid. Worse than that, I scared her. Not good, Peter. Not good at all. Face it, you might not be cut out for this. Dad, I drew a picture of your spider. I hope you like it. You're the best. Love, May. Or maybe I'll give it one more day. And I kind of love that. It's so cute. We get to March. We see that Mary Jane and Richard are like, what the fuck's going on? Of course, doing daddy-daughter time. Yes, doing absolutely nothing. Mom says I need new shoes. I think these are perfectly fine, but she disagrees, so now I'm getting new shoes. After that, we're going to pop into the forest. We shouldn't be more than an hour. You guys have fun, and don't do anything I want to do. You want to? Yeah. Wow. And I love it. They're like doing daddy-daughter time, trying to figure out what's going on with the suit. First, he does kind of like the black suit. You think... I like that it's got the spider on it, but it's kind of more scary, Dad. Maybe some color and seriously, less scary, Dad. You mean like this, less scary, more cool, and red. Well, I do like the red, but it's not cool, Dad, at all. You're so old, as we pretty much get kind of like, Ben Reilly's kind of one. Oh yeah? When I am an old man wear this? I think not. Maybe some blue and bring back the webs. So like this? No, Dad, not all blue, as we see it all blue. And then she's like, so you like it? Oh, I like it. Want to take it out for a spin? As he then starts swinging around in his red and blue Spidey outfit with May. It's... Oh, God. We see that Ben and Jonah are pretty much getting new premises, as we see that Pete pops up with a little bonsai tree to be like, hey, how's this? And of course, they're trying to figure out what's going on. It's a map. And they're like, yeah, we can't tell you anything because you're not in our little thing. And he's like, how can I help? They're trying to figure out if there's any chatter about like a green suit dude waging a personal war against Fisk. Yeah, actually. Robbie's taken to calling him the Green Goblin. Scary. He thinks there's a story there, but the higher-ups keep shutting him down. It's like, so screw that. Instead, they're pushing stories about the guy in the black suit, which I get. He's extremely photogenic, and to me seems to be a much more compelling and, dare I say, charming character. A real man of the people. Just an opinion. And they're like, alright. So, of course, we then see that Spidey's trying to find out more. Of course, now he's, like, understanding why people, like, do with the fucking stakeouts and shit. He's like, I hate this. That's it. I quit. This was a terrible idea. Nothing's going to happen. I'm an idiot. Ben's an idiot. Jonah's definitely an idiot. I'm going home. Wait a minute. Bingo. As, of course, we then see that his waiting worked out pretty well. And I really kind of love the paneling here showing the kind of orb. As we see Green Goblin fighting Bullseye. And I kind of like Bullseye's outfit as well. An effective use of blacks and whites and everything. Of course, Bullseye pretty much is like taunting the Green Goblin. No, I work for the real masters of the world, the real power. I'm paid by the invisible hand to strike down those who forget their station, and I'm very good at it. But if I'm honest, being honest with you, I'd do it for free. Now, boys, if you can't play nice, maybe you shouldn't play at all. Well, I guess it's my lucky day. I get to eliminate 2 problems at once. And after that, I get to go home, which is good, because I hate this place. It's like, Bullseye's not having any of it. And I love that Spidey shot there. To dodge! But then it's like almost take it, like, oh god, that Krang. But then Green Goblin blasts his ass. But Green Goblin then gets fucking worked on by all the cards, and Spidey's like, fuck you, buddy! Nice punch there. You okay? Yeah, I think so. Thanks for the helping hand. Wasn't expecting to need it, but I certainly did. Who exactly is this guy? I don't know that yet. So should I call the police or something? I don't really know what to do next. I haven't actually caught anyone before. It's like, yes, okay. Oh, I really like that Spidey there. Fisk owns a large part of the police, and as far as I can tell, this guy is somehow more connected than Fisk, so I don't think calling the police will help. Then what are you going to do? Same thing as every day. What needs to be done? Place for everything and everything in its place. I'm like, that's not ominous sounding at all. As he fucking puts fucking Bullseye on his fucking glider. So that's an interesting suit you have there. I bet some people think it's very cool. That's because it is cool. Be that as it may, instead of cool, others might call it something else. Proprietary. What? Suit pairing enabled. What was that? Did you hear that? Connecting. Connected. Authenticated impaired. Suit deactivating. What? No deactivating. No deactivating. Oh my god. That doesn't work out there for Pete very well. But the Green Goblin takes his mask off too. Hi, I'm Harry. Peter. Well, Peter, I don't know if you noticed or not, but the world is strange and dangerous place these days. Yeah, I'm starting to notice that. As we see them standing across from each other, it's like, okay, there's tension there. You want to get a drink? Maybe talk about it? Sure. Not like he's got much choice in it. Of course, we see to April, as we see that Mary and Pete go on a double date with Harry and his wife, Gwen Stacy. So we'll have to see how that kind of works out. I tried the carrot, but they wanted the stick. We see that she's pretty smart too, as we get more pretty much of the blocking kind of. I like the kind of voices, especially that Hickman's got with Pete, the kids, Mary Jane, Jonah, Ben, and then when we get here with Harry and Gwen. Harry is more kind of a looser kind of canon, but we haven't gotten to the kind of craziness of Osborn, but his obsession of Norman. Sorry, I usually think of Norman as Osborn. We see that MJ has started a PR firm, and she had used to model a little, but she started handling her own branding, and then kind of moving from like these other kind of PR places that were kind of bad. That instead of picking on clients, make the problem go away. It was super gross. She's a retainer at damage control. And then, of course, she's now helping Ben and Jonah do their own thing. Calling it the paper, even though it's only online digital kind of thing. Ironic or meta. It's both, actually. As they're pretty much watching Richard and May. They don't really like Jonah. Let's see. Gwen talking about like it'd be more upsetting to see pretty much the Spider-Man as a good guy because like there could be a cure or whatnot. People need heroes, Peter. And if your uncle's let me see. Yeah, exactly. And if your uncle's going to report on that, good for him. Maybe you could let them use some of your photos. I work for the Bugle. You always will with an attitude like that. Hey, CEO of a billion-dollar company, go easy on the worker folk. But she's not wrong. Fair enough. And of course, her and MJ kind of go to the bathroom. And of course, Richard is like really liking what Ben and Jonah are doing together, and that everybody should read a lot. Got to give him a reason to, which can be a little tricky. So you got an hour before you have to be in bed. Want to watch some TV? No, good man. Well, that depends if there's anything on or not. Gwen pretty much feeling out for MJ, how she's kind of coming across with certain kind of things. She wants to have something set up between her and the paper people. And of course, Harry's like, you haven't told her yet, have you? It's like, oh shit. And of course, that, my God, Harry, what are you thinking? Of course, he's told Gwen everything. Bringing on that, like, Pete's more, like, than just a guy in a suit. Saving the world. It's like, okay, so his objective is to save the world. Let's kind of see how that kind of works out with his objective. Pretty much bringing up the whole, you have great power, and with great power comes great responsibility. It's such a gift, but only if you use it. Interesting way to kind of set that up, and being a different kind of character to put that out to. Of course, bringing up like heroes and everything. I really like the moments that we get character-wise here. That's the very big strength of what's been in this run so far. I mean, yeah, we get everything kind of going on. Action-wise, we see Norman Osborn's death, and we see it from Harry's perspective, which, holy shit, the art, man. We see that Norman was pretty much being a dick to him. And of course, that something was pretty much delivered for Harry. It's like, okay. Kingpin pretty much wanting, yeah, what's going on? With the fall of Stain and Stark and the Union now a divided protectorate of other regions, there are rumors that you've secretly been named both the Shadow Governor of the Greater New York Territory as well as the Kingpin of Manhattan. I'm not a vain man, but from time to time it's nice to hear one's name ring out. Yes, I've been named, and next week I will be officially elevated to both positions. I'll be running things now, and you should be very pleased about that. Why is that? Because I need a favor. One, I think you are uniquely suited to provide. Of course, dealing with Stark's kind of armors and stuff. And of course, she's there, linked up. Gwen's there, so is Otto Octavius. Otto, yes, you need to sign an NDA. Gwen, Otto has an NDA. No, he's going to need a new one with more teeth, understand? Because if I don't, I can't play with all the new toys. That's right, no new toys for you. Where do I sign? It's like, oh God. So, of course, 4 months ago, they decided to pretty much make his kind of goblin armor out of Stark tech. It's like, interesting here. I don't kind of mind that. Normally, I'd rather have them kind of making their own thing, but given how this world and everything's kind of working on for that, we see that they're kind of looking into Stark's proprietary tech, nodes, an art node, or any dedicated AI on the network. Okay, get it. So what you're looking at is a snapshot of what the network looked like 2 days ago, and this is what it looks like right now. Out of what the... Of course, we have seen that the Stark stuff has been pretty much delivered across all different kind of places to get people into play. We saw that Shocker pretty much robbing this guy's apartment. Turns out he must have just died, had a heart attack or something, sitting in his favorite chair. Anyway, there was this light, and that terrorist kid Stark talking, and then the light stopped, and these gloves were just sitting there, so I put them on. So we're learning that kind of stuff, that there's Stark tech in play and everything else with trying to get all different kind of heroes up there. So Stark's alive. That would mean that he gave me the gloves, and you know what? I think I'm going to keep them. Was that supposed to hurt? And I love that kind of wham, and it's like, oh shit. But of course, Harry just beats the shit out of him, and that's that. Then of course we get them linking up, doing the drinks. Pretty much him trying to feel out and figure out how Pete got his powers and how it's linked up with Stark. That's what heroes do. Now, At first, I thought it was just your suit that gave you your powers. Honestly, I thought you were the suit because it took almost a month to peel you out of it. So imagine my surprise when I found out that the problem went a little deeper. You have some sort of embedded exoskeleton under your suit, under your skin, and while it's impressive, taking it off, well, that had to hurt. Pain is part of the process. It's like, oh shit, he's really fucking around with Bullseye there. Everyone thinks they can be a hero until it actually costs something, and it always does. We make sure of that. Then we get to see what you really are. It's like, oh fuck. And then we got to May. As it ends, as he's pretty much dealing with what's kind of going on. And then we get to June, as we see the kids and everything, and the family looking at Peter, and Peter has just gotten his ass whooped. It's like, it's fine, it's fine. But then, of course, this is where everything falls to shit. Oh, Dad is got it being a superhero. Oh, I'm sorry, and she's crying, and Peter's like, it's alright, baby, it's alright. Peter, what is she talking about? How exactly did you get that black eye? Fiskville last night, as him and Harry are pretty much staking out. Sorry about that. Fisk. He's like, you do. You're the Green Goblin. That's what everyone's calling you. Who? Reporters, civilians, the internet, them. Well, they don't get to pick my codename. I pick my codename. Okay, so what's your codename? I kind of like the Green Goblin. It's like, fucking Harry. Really great blast-in shot as they get into Fisk's company. What a surprise. Can't you see how surprised I am? Something you might want to keep in mind for the future. Manhattan is mine, and every camera in the 3-block radius feeds into this building, so I'm aware that you two have been watching for days. I was beginning to wonder when you were going to invite yourselves in. I was beginning to think I was going to have to do it myself. See, we were expected. What? You pulled it out of him? That and a little more. Well, he wasn't really my guy. I guess the lesson there is if you want something done... Wait a second, something's wrong as we start seeing the Spidey sense tingling. And Fisk pretty much locking him in and starting to, like, do his own shit as they pretty much get into a fucking brawl with him, which is nicely done, like, showcasing how Harry's got a different fighting style than Pete. Without his armor, that probably would have killed him. That is the idea. It's like, oh, Pete, yep, they're killing. As you see him blasting with repulsors and throwing bombs and shit, but that normally would have hurt something fierce, but I've recently had some work done, undergone some improvements. It's like, that's not good. And it's like, oh, that is a really good shot there of Kingpin just being like fucking beastly as he then starts blasting and beating Harry. Like, oh God, don't you understand the world you live in? There's no one listening, no one to save you. You're all alone and it's all over. Then we see this kind of cool ass paneling layout as we see Pete coming in to stop him. But then he just starts getting his ass beat. But then we see that Harry calls in his glider. And boom, as they start getting out, it's like, oh, fuck me, man. On your feet, we're getting out of here. And that, now, is the story of how your dad got his butt kicked. Okay, but hold on. You broke into someone's house and tried to beat him up? Yeah. Isn't that against the law, Dad? Yes, exactly. That's what I've been saying. But just to be clear, he's a very bad man doing very bad things. And sure, I'll admit, there might be also be some professional grievances at play, but someone had to stop him, and that's kind of what I do now. Dad, are you going to have to fight him again? Well, we can't just let him go on doing bad things to good people, right? There you go. Right, but are you safe, Peter? Are we safe? Yes, I believe so. No one knows who isn't a friend. I plan to keep it that way. And speaking of, this has to be a family secret, so you guys can't tell anyone else ever, okay? Okay. Don't look at me. I didn't tell anyone for like 4 whole months. I'm like, okay. Listen, she has a very strong point there, and I really agree with her. You know for that long? How come I didn't know? Because what he means is, how come we didn't know? I couldn't find the right time or the right words, and I wasn't sure that. I'm sorry. I should have, especially after May found out. It's okay, Dad. All right, off to bed with the two of you. Your mother and I need to talk for a bit. Okay, super. Good night, Super Dad. It's like, it's so cute to see them with that, and then to see him go further on. You know I have questions, like a lot more. Of course you do. But let's hold on to those until tomorrow. Deal? Sure. Dad? Yeah? Please be careful. To see the differences. Like, she's kind of excited about it. He's kind of like, be careful. And then, of course, we get into them dealing with each other on this. She's not mad. She just wished she'd been told sooner. But hearing you tell us what happened, scary as it was, I'm mostly proud. Call it 30% scared, 40% impressed. There are other numbers for other things. Oh, you want to see the suit, don't you? Oh, yes, I most certainly do. It's like, ha ha ha! I'm like, I love that kind of thing. It's like, yeah. And then he goes, ooh, what do you think? I think this definitely works, Mr. Parker. So, you're faster, stronger. Yes, ma'am. And all that from a little spider. Uh-huh. Well, I can't wait to see you in action. So, what am I supposed to call you when you're in costume? Actually, that came up recently, and I have no idea. And I love how she's the one to be able to do it. Well, you really do need a code name. I suppose I could ask the professional. You have to earn it. I'm expensive. I charge a lot and by the hour. Then I'll have to pay because I'm a desperate man, MJ. And I need your help and I need a code name. Any ideas? Oh, Peter, isn't it obvious? You're Spider-Man. As he's swinging. So, I think this was a very nice setup, and especially with along the lines of the whole time thing going on with the Maker, Tony Stark, everything like that. This sets up the world very nicely from Peter's point of view, him accepting the role of Spider-Man, understanding that something's wrong with his life, learning the new information and doing it and trying to attempt it, seeing him learning to be Spider-Man at an older age, hits very differently. Seeing him interact with his family. I love the dynamics between him, MJ, May, and Richard. I like his dynamic with Ben as well, and Jonah, and seeing them go off. And I love the different kind of... We've got three main stories kind of going on here. Peter understanding and becoming Spider-Man. Harry Osborn understanding and becoming this Green Goblin character. And Ben and Jonah trying to make their own paper and figure out what's going on with the world and trying to tell the truth as much as possible with it. They're very compelling stories and they're very well written and worked together. This is probably my favorite thing of Jonathan Hickman that I've read so far at this point, because he understands Peter, he understands this world, and understands what he's attempting to accomplish with this. It's very nice and refreshing and interesting to see how Peter handles these dynamics with his family, his daughter learning first and then getting his ass whooped and then having to explain it to his family and coming clean. I could understand people saying, oh, this was too fast for that. I kind of disagree. I think this was done well. Otherwise, teasing it out would have been that will they, won't they kind of thing. You could get stuck in that kind of loop. I kind of like that they kind of came out as much as possible. We'll see if he talks to Ben and Jonah about it. I am intrigued to see how the Stark Tech is more of the central kind of point. Harry getting it, Pete's suit being Stark Tech and more along the nano kind of lines. I'm wondering if we'll see Peter tinker more with those kind of things, because at this point the only weakness that I would have is that Pete's not using any kind of his genius level intellect with the kind of low-tech kind of stuff that he's usually used to doing in 616 and whatnot. We'll see that maybe hopefully later on as he utilizes his brains to kind of work within the suit, maybe try and stop it from being paired and taken over again like it was for Harry to reveal his identity. There's a lot of cool stuff, but I just love the feel, how it flows, how the action works out with the artists. Like Chichetto really works very well with this, and I really love his art style with this. It just works well. I like how he draws Peter as Peter and Spider-Man, MJ, the kids. They all have distinct feels and they don't feel copied, and the level of detail works for each kind of paneling. Even when a panel isn't as detailed as possible, it doesn't feel like it's just rough or unfinished or just done super fast or just to get something out the door. And a lot of the people, even though we've got his kids that have red hair, it's not like there's a, like, you got them and MJ in a scene and you can't tell who's who. Sometimes that happens where you've got certain kind of red-haired characters where you could have like Natasha, Bethany Cabe, and like MJ in the same room and you can't tell who the fuck is who. But no, here it just works very well, and I'm just really happy with the art style and the characters and understanding what's going on. Seeing Kingpin named the Kingpin because he's taking over the territory and trying to do that while Harry and Pete try to stop him. It's really kind of cool, and I would definitely recommend this. And I can see why a lot of people have recommended it, because I like seeing an older Peter Parker doing this kind of thing, working with MJ, working with Ben and Jonah, and seeing what's kind of going to be going on and what's going to be happening with this. I can understand why people are like, ooh, you got to check out the new Ultimate Universe for this kind of stuff. I'm like, all right, let's see what's going on, because this has been getting good hype. Absolute for DC has been getting good hype and good reviews, and I'm glad that this lived up for it. And I really liked it. I really liked it and really enjoyed it, and I'll definitely be looking into other ones as they kind of pop up. So, those are my opinions on the volume. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.